Hi again. So we are back here. So I just want to say hi to all of you again. Hi Cheetah, Tiger, Soumya, Sonali, Ayush, Divyanshu, the Crap Master. Okay. So I really miss you guys. Okay. Now we'll come to the archaeological sources. And okay, Nikki, hi. Pallavi, hi. So I hope you are all doing good. Uh, so archaeological sources include temples, palaces, mosques, forts, tombs, coins, inscriptions, utensils, tools, weapons, ornaments, and paintings. This I have told you some few minutes ago also while I was talking to you about archaeological sources, how do we get the information, and as well as I have told you about this earlier, and I'm going to give you another phase of notes, or in the video I'll be telling you verbally that I'll explain you more about it, and whatever I explain will be put down in a PDF file and you will get it. So it will be very helpful to you. Okay, so this gives us an idea of the political, social, economic history of the time. What gives us that information of this political history and economic, social, political history of that time? Through what? Through mosques, forts, tombs, palaces, coins, paintings, ornaments, etc., etc., etc. Okay. So when we find something, we come to know how people used it. What did they try to do? Like that day I was explaining to, I don't know which class, it must have been you only. Suppose we are not at school. School is closed down. It's around about now 40 days. So I don't know, actually I may be wrong. I just gave an example of 40 days. And we go back to school and we see a lot of wrappers there. Wrappers on the ground, or while playing, we see in the dustbin, we see a lot of wrappers there. What wrappers? We get wrappers of kurkure, or we get wrappers of wafers, or we get wrappers of biscuits, and we have got wrappers of whatever we have eaten. So we will base our knowledge on the wrappers which are more. We will take it out, we will select, okay, we have kurkure 10, we have one Lay's chips, and we have 3 Cheetos. So 3 Cheetos will come second, first will come kurkure, third will come Lay's. Then that was in salt and wafer type things, in snacks. In biscuits, again we'll choose the chocolate ones first, and then we'll have the vanilla ones, then we'll have the plain ones, the wrappers. Like that it will be kept. So whatever has more, we'll try to disclose or we'll try to come to a conclusion, we'll try to come to a conclusion saying that this part of the time, or this part of the time from January to March, these days kurkure was eaten more by the children of Hartford. But some percent of the children liked Lay's as well, and a second favorite was Cheetos. They liked these. So we'll come to know during this time children of Hartford like this. So this is the type we get information. We try to collect, we try to know. So this is history. So we have to dig into it. You have to it gets very interesting. It's like a story. So many rulers, particularly in South India, encouraged temple building. So people from the south, obviously people travel to south, tourism, people go for tours, they go for religious tours, they go to South India. Basically people go to see temples. But I go to South India to enjoy the beaches. One of the world's God's own country, Kerala, that's the best place. But again, they have got a lot of temples there also. South Indians are very religious type of people. It's not that we are or you are not religious. People in the north are not religious. They have more temples than rather more of the whole of India. Okay. Encouraged in temple building. Temples thus are rich source of religious and cultural history. Paintings are another valuable source, as they tell us about the customs, food habits, dress, jewelry of the period. Okay. Suppose if I do a painting now, Or if I do a colorful painting of a man standing, what will be a man on a normal dress these days? So I am going to draw a pair of denims, a nice pair of denims with a nice blue shade and a white shirt or a black shirt or something with nice leather shoes, Italian leather shoes and all that. I'll draw it and make a painting, so that after 10 to 15, 20 years or 100 years, people see, okay, this drawing shows that this time of people, whatever I wear is what I do. So whatever paintings people painted is their intuition inside their mind, what they think. That's the culture which comes out. Okay. Paintings are another valuable source, as I said. They tell us about customs, food habits, dress, jewelry and ornaments about that period, what people like to wear actually. Coins are a very important study of the medieval period. They give us dates of important political events. A book on coins titled Drya Pariksha, an examination of coins, was written during the reign of Alauddin Khalji. Enlists the coins minted during the reign of the Sultan. Inscriptions from South India record proclamations of kings by kings and gifts to temples and learned men. Some of these inscriptions are recorded on copper plates and some are inscribed on temple walls. Now we have to think and answer, why did the kings have inscriptions carved on copper plates and temple walls? Copper will not get wasted. Copper will not blend with the earth, it will not get rust, it will stay forever. Temple walls it was inscribed, so till the wall does not break or the stone does not demolish or it does not get eroded by the atmosphere or weather, it's going to stay there. So they wanted to put something into it which cannot be destroyed. They wanted people to know about them, so that was the main issue. Okay, so literary sources. Now what are the literary sources? I told you that was written on paper. Basic information which we get, which is on writing, data. So written records of the medieval period are found in plenty. Lot of written sources we have found during that time. Paper was easily available during this period. Therefore most writing of this period is on paper. Okay. Literary sources include chronicles of court historians, biographies, autobiographies, farmhands and correspondence letters. Farmhands correspondence letters of the kings. Other court records such as those regarding justice and taxes and travelogues. Okay, what are farmhand letters? Farmhands and correspondence. Farmhands are people who used to send letters to the kings and kings sending their letters to other countries or other places. So those information we get. What was going to happen? Suppose if they had a meeting, if he is going to give an invitation, he is going to send his horseman, someone is going to go, a messenger is going to go for 5-6 days, he will be traveling, then he will reach. We didn't have WhatsApp then, that you put on your net and your data is on and tuck, it goes. Okay, it is not like that. So chronicles. What are the chronicles of court historians? A chronicle is a record of the rule of the kings and the life at the court. Court means not the court of judgment, the court of the king, the place where he sits, his office. We can call it his office or his darbar. Most kings had court chronicles who wrote in detail about what happened during their reign. Most of these writings are in Persian and Turkish. Some important chronicles of the medieval period are as follows. Now, court chronicles are the courtmen who used to stay there and they used to give every day's report they had to write down. So, if our everyday report is written down, we come to know what type of king he was, what was his ruling types, what was his orders, what happened in his court. So, this is how we get all the information. Raja Tarangini by Khalhana is a history of the kings of Kashmir. Tarikh-i-Firozi Shahi by Ziauddin Barani, who describes the history of the sultans of Delhi till the reign of Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Tarikh-i-Firishta by Firishta, which is a record of the history of Delhi sultans from the time of the Turks till the 17th century. Khazainul Futu, the Tughlaqnama by Amir Khusro, deal with reign of Khaljis and Tughlaqs. Okay. I am also going to give you each and every detail of Rajtarangini, Tariq-e-Firoz Shahi, Tariq-e-Farishta and Khazainul Futu. I'll give you notes on these also. What are these about? So, see guys, I want you to know the subject, not read the subject. I want you to know about it. If you know about it, it is already there inside your head. You don't have to learn it. So, if anyone says medieval periods, you will just start talking. Question answer is not a factor. If you know the chapter, if you know the what is history of the medieval period, you do not need questions. Any question will come, you will solve it. Because you cannot ask anything out of that. So whatever is there in the book, if you know that, whatever question comes, you will be able to solve it. It's like a story. So you have to put in your mind into it. As you put your mind into your Free Fire and PUBG, so you can put your mind into history also. Okay? Great. So autobiographies and biographies. Among the autobiographies, the most important are Futuhat-e-Firoz Shahi by Firoz Shah Tughlaq, Babarnama by Babur, and Tuzuk-e-Jahangiri by Emperor Jahangir. Autobiographies and biographies. Autobiographies are people who write about themselves, and biographies are something which people write about. Okay. Some biographies of the medieval period are as follows. Prithviraj Raso by Chand Bardai describes the life and adventure of the Chauhan ruler Prithviraj Chauhan. Humayun Numa by Gulbudan Begum gives a lot of information about the reign of the Mughal Emperor Humayun. Akbarnama by Abul Fazl describes the events of Emperor Akbar's reign. So these are the things also I can give you more information, so you'll learn about it. It's very interesting. And if you can travel to Delhi anytime during your coming years, if you go for a tour or something, please do visit these places, and you will be surprised to see it's still there, and how they used to live, and how things used to go around, how do archaeological sources, the museums, the things you will get to watch. It's really interesting. I just simply love it. I can't help it, but I just love it. Travelogues. Many foreign travelers visited India during the medieval period. Their travelogues give us a lot of information about the places they visited and the people they met. Some of the well-known visitors who wrote travelogues are Al-Biruni, who came from Central Asia. I have said this about it earlier in the last chapter also I have told you about Ibn Battuta, who wrote the Rila, means travels, which gives a lot about the information or geography of India, how he traveled around, and he gave the geographical factors of India as well. Abdur Razak, who was sent by the ruler of Persia to the kingdom of Vijayanagar in the south. Travelers also came from Europe. Marco Polo, Niccolo Conti and Niccolao Manuschi came from Italy. Duarte Barbosa and Domingo Paes from Portugal. Rolf Fitch, William Hawkins and Sir Thomas Roe from England, and Bernier and Tavernier from France. Their writings and letters are very valuable source for reconstructing the history of the medieval period. So in the early chapters we will come to know about it. I don't know if in class 7 they are going to deal with this, but I'll make sure that I make some notes for you about them. I'll give you all details about them, what all they actually wrote, and how did they go about it, and what did they do. So it will be very helpful to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a mark to page. Oh my God. So we are done here. So it's 7. So we have only page 5, 6 and 7 and we are done. And the next part is about the question answers. Okay, no issues. So don't worry about it. It's really very nice that I could finish the readings in this 2 videos. So now my next video which I'm going to get ready for you is going to be a total explanation, and guys, you will come to page 8 8, what you are going to do is you are going to do time to learn A, B, C, D. That's your job. I am going to give you the answers as well, but only after you finish it. So I'll give you some time for it. You will get an information about the homework on a PDF file on your download section. Okay, so you'll be able to see it, and don't worry. So whenever you go on to it, it will be ready there for you. And I'm going to give you a detailed explanation of this chapter again. So we are again back to chapter 1. Actually, we are done till chapter 2. If I'm not wrong, the regional kingdoms, how, what, when, where and how also I did with you. Then I came to the medieval period, then I came to the regional kingdoms also. I had told you about the Pratiharas and the Rashtrakutas, the Cholas and the Palas. I am still there at the Palas. So I'll be continuing that from the chapter 1 only, because I don't want to finish it in these 2 pages only. I have more explanations to give you, so which you will really need. You're going to solve these questions. The chapter is read for you. I've explained it earlier. I'll be also giving you notes and solutions. So I want this homework done, and I want information, replies for it on the School Hertford group. Okay. So till then, take care of yourselves and be good. Stay home, stay safe, and don't worry, everything is going on fine. And just give some time to your studies and enjoy life, and do whatever you want after you do your studies. So class 7 guys, take care and best of luck. God bless you all. Bye bye.